a lot of people class themselves as traders. They're buying someone's signals. You're not a trader.
So I put £100 in Bitcoin and I just placed a sell because it was just dropping hard, and I doubled the £100, £200 that day.
I remember even putting on like a 0.2 lot and the market went up and I was like, I did that.
We now have 20 million different prop firms and funding firms, which obviously that probably is the biggest hurdle, I think, finding a prop firm that is legit.
But I was with IMO Academy. I didn't understand the concept of you have to continue doing something if you want it to build. And you might not be one of those lucky people that it happens overnight with.
And from that day, I never went back to a normal job. Hey guys, and welcome to the first episode from the Rise Collective.
Hey.
So of course, Rise Collective is me and Katie, and we are going to be doing podcasts, the community, and of course meetups. So of course this is the first episode of our podcast.
I can't wait.
I'm so excited for us.
Same. And the fact that we're going to have guests on as well.
I know.
It's just going to be unreal.
Literally, obviously I've been doing podcasts for other people, but now it's time for us to get in our own podcast bag.
Yeah, and you're such, I always give you your flowers, you're such a great host.
Thank you.
So there's no one better to start the episodes than Mads the Trader.
So obviously, yes, I am Mads the Trader, and you are, it's Katie Rose.
I am indeed.
The official. For those who don't know, we are Forex traders, first and foremost. And most of the content that we will be speaking about will be obviously trading related, but also business related, because we definitely have had our fair share of business experiences.
Indeed.
The highs, the lows, and yeah, we have a lot of value to give. So here we are. This first episode is going to be all about how you can start trading in 2025. So for me, I have been trading for 10 years. And when I came into the industry, it was very, very different to how it is for someone new coming into the industry now. And you've been trading for
5 years.
5 years. And again, it was completely different.
So different.
When you came into the industry. So now it is a lot easier for traders coming into the industry. Like, you can literally get funded like that, learn how to trade, get funded within the first couple of years, whereas when I first started trading and when you started trading, it was literally your own capital or nothing. And it was just building up your own personal capital, which is obviously very hard and very time consuming. I started trading 10 years ago. I was introduced to trading when not many people were doing it. It wasn't the popular thing to do. I was actually doing network marketing at the time, and I was introduced to it through someone that I was doing network marketing with.
I was going to ask, how did you even come into trading?
Yeah, so I was doing, it was network marketing completely unrelated to trading. It was called Vima, an energy drink.
Really?
And it was like this energy drink that had all the vitamins and minerals our body needs. It was powered by this fruit called mangosteen, which has like cancer healing properties and all this cool jazz. But obviously I did that when I was 18. And it was just, you were just thrown into like the deep end of like personal development. So I was introduced to like Rich Dad Poor Dad, The Secret, Think and Grow Rich. And this was like the basis of like the network marketing world. It was all about personal development and sales, because obviously we were essentially selling a product to people. So from there, I obviously met a lot of people who like-minded individuals, who all just wanted to get rich, wanted to improve their lives. And I came across these people on Instagram, I think at the time, who were trading. And I remember getting a DM from someone who was trading NFP at the time, and that was the sales thing to do back then.
NFP was different back then as well.
It was a lot. It was really, really volatile. So people were getting rich just purely based off of NFP, and obviously it was a whole scam as well, because you weren't really making money from NFP. Let's be real.
It's like luck. You just got to hope and pray.
Literally. So I remember Googling and I was like, what is trading? And of course, when you search like what is trading, things like fucking plumber and electrician, like trades.
Yeah,
come
trades.
on, not actual Forex trading. So I was like, what the hell is this? And then I think I was on, I want to say Woucher one day, and a course came up on Woucher for trading.
No way.
So I put it into this group chat that we had when we was doing network marketing, And I was like, I might do this. And someone in there at the time was like, no, don't do that. He was like, I'm getting into trading. He was like, but I'm doing it with these guys called AstroFX. And he was doing their course. So he went to do like, I think it was like a 2 or 3 day like crash course. And then you get like this workbook with it. So I think he paid like $2,000 for the course, which obviously at the time I was 18. I think I was still in college at the time. I hadn't even started uni. And obviously I didn't have that kind of money. So he was like, he'll stand with the course book for, I think it was like £100. So bought this course book off him. There was a couple other of my friends who were getting into it at the same time. None of them trade now, but we all started it together. We used to like meet up and go through the course book together.
That's so cute.
It was like we were really like locked in.
So you had a good community as well at the start then? That's so good. That's important as well.
100%. Like a lot of the things that I picked up was because I think when you get into trading, especially when I was doing it then, there wasn't really any help online. It was just this course book that I had. So I remember meeting up with one of my friends, Jeremy, at the time. And I was so confused about Fibonacci levels. And he'd messaged someone who was part of AstroFX and she gave him the Fibonacci levels, which was like a top secret back then. So once I had those Fibonacci levels, that was kind of like when things started rolling.
So you've always had the same like strategy as such?
Yeah, literally. That AstroFX course book, as much as I like went back and forth through the years, that is what I trade now, which is really crazy. But yeah, I ended up buying an online course from these Australians called Infinite Prosperity, but their strategy was completely different. Like it was a lot of indicators like MACD, moving averages. It was using volatility indicators, and it was more of like a swing trading thing. I went through that whole course and I couldn't ever get to grips with it. So I went back to the Astro FX course. Then I found more people. So at this point, I was probably like 2-3 years in, not really taking it that seriously. And then I came across these people called Tori and Bernie, who were actually separate at the time, but they had both had experience working with Astro FX. So it was literally the exact same strategy. So Tori was crypto, Bernie was Forex. So I think it was Bernie's community that I joined first, and that's where I like really refined my strategy. So he would do like daily calls, like every morning, every night, a call talking about the markets, and then on a Sunday evening he would do a massive call. I don't think it wasn't even a call; it was just a video that he uploaded, I think. And yeah, just basically talk through the markets using obviously support and resistance, Fibonacci, trend lines, candlestick formations and candlestick patterns, which we now know that is exactly what I trade. So thanks to Bernie's community, that's when I really started to understand trading, I'd say.
How long was you like in and out of these like different courses and stuff?
I would say, so I started when I was 18. And then I think Bernie's course I joined when I want to say I was 22. So I was pregnant with a Zion at the time.
And was you like in and out of like trading, like learning a little bit, then you didn't do it?
Yeah.
And like not seeing profits?
Yeah. Okay. So for the first like 3 or 4 years, I was just not taking it seriously.
But you stuck it out?
Yeah.
10 years later?
Yeah. But I think it was getting pregnant. Like I will always say getting pregnant changed my life because I knew at that point, I just started my master's degree in law, and I thought, I can't go and work for someone else. Like I've got a child now, but I'd had trading there, so I knew like that was something I could fall back on.
But at what point did you feel like, okay, I've been doing this for 4 years now, and I'm not making money because I'm pregnant, I need to continue going? Was it like people around you that started it with you that are making money? Like, was it that you see this is real? Because a lot of people after 4 years, they're giving up. Like, some people don't even make it 90 days.
I think it was purely because I was in Bernie's community and obviously I was seeing people who were becoming profitable. The friends that I had started it with were starting to drop off by that point, but I was finding other friends who were then getting into it. So I always had someone around me who was doing it. And in like different group chats, like Telegram chats, there was actually a massive crypto group chat that I was in. So that's when Tori came into play. So Tori was like the crypto guy. And I joined a community through Twitter actually back then on an old Twitter page that I had. I met these people through just interacting with Tori. and we started this group chat called, I can't even remember what it is. I've still got the group chat, and we like message like once in a blue moon.
And do all these people still trade as well?
I'm pretty sure they do, yeah. A lot of them I haven't heard from in ages. Like, they just don't communicate. But there's like the odd one here and there who are like, we'll message each other every now and then in the group chat.
That's so sweet that you still have that
it's
as well.
It's really cute, yeah.
And now look at you, like you're thriving, got your own community.
I know, it's crazy. Like, it literally has been a literal full circle. But it was, I would say it was definitely the communities that like held it together. But I think trading crypto back then, so I remember the day Bitcoin surpassed 10k, and it was like such a huge moment within the crypto space, and I was just fully locked in on crypto, like day trading crypto. So it was like XRP, obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin at the time, which I haven't heard of for ages, Litecoin. But yeah, I started day trading crypto, lost shitloads of money.
But it wasn't enough for you to give up though.
No.
Like, that's what's mad.
I think it was because I was just in so deep, and because I have got like, I would say I have somewhat of an addictive personality. So once I start something, I'm gonna have to see it through, like, by all means. I'm gonna have to see it through. So I think that literally ego is the only thing that I can say has kept me here, because I've started it. I'm gonna fucking finish it.
So at what point did you see your first profits? Like, even if you didn't actually take that money out, when did you make your first profit? Was it luck? Like, was it a mindset shift? Was it a course? Like, what is it that done it for you?
Bitcoin.
Really?
Yeah. I remember the day, I think I was actually in the bath, and if anyone was trading crypto back then, you'll know how volatile it was. So I remember one day Bitcoin was dropping hard. So I remember putting, I think it was like £100 into Hugo's Way. Big up Hugo's Way.
As we do.
So I put £100 in Bitcoin, and I just placed a sell because it was just dropping hard. And I doubled the £100, £200 that day. Lost it all the next day. But that was like my first experience of seeing profit. And from then it was just like depositing £100 here, £50 here.
Yep.
Like, I was broke.
Yep.
I was broke. But any spare money I had, it was going in trading.
And it's such an ego thing, because you think you're going to make that money quick.
Yeah, 100%. But I always had to be in a trade. Like, it was back. Now I look back, I think I was so stupid, because if I'd have just invested that money, I would have bought Bitcoin like 8k.
I remember when Bitcoin was £300, like about £300. You could go buy it in some little shop in Stratford.
Yes, oh my God.
I remember that. And I remember someone saying, go invest in it. And I was like, I was so scared of risk.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not doing that. I would be up right now if I did that.
This is what I'm saying. Do you remember the machines as well?
Yes.
Like, there'd just be a random machine in the middle of the city?
Yep. There was one in Stratford.
That is so strange.
Yeah. And now, like, the way like everything's changed, you have Apple Pay now. You can pay with Bitcoin.
Yeah. But it was only like, I want to say like 4 or 5 years into my journey, when I discovered FTMO.
But they've been about for years though, but like they were just so undercover.
Yeah. Literally, no one knew about FTMO.
How did you come across them?
I think it must have been in one of the communities. Someone must have spoken about funding, and that's where I started. So I started with a 10k FTMO, passed it the first time, and I remember I thought there was 3 phases. So obviously with FTMO it's 10% and then 5%. So I made the 10%, then made the 5%, and I remember thinking, oh my God, like, I've only got to make another £500 to pass and get funded with 10k. And then I had the email with the contract, and obviously signing the contract. And I remember saying to my mum, I was like, Mum, they've sent a contract, like, I think I've passed. And then, of course, they send, like, I don't know if they still do this at FTMO, but they used to send a questionnaire, and you used to put, like, all of the details about your trading, and you'd get featured on, like, I don't know, something with FTMO. And I remember filling that out and just being like, oh my God, like, I've made it.
How did you feel? Like,
amazing.
Did you cry or anything?
I think I probably cried. And from that day, I never went back to a normal job. Like, that was when I was like, yeah, I'm not working ever again.
Did you have that, like, feeling of, like, you know, a lot of people see it, which we'll get into a little bit later into this episode. A lot of people think that they can literally flip, like, £10 to a million, like, super quick.
Yeah.
Did you have that feeling that, okay, I've passed now, like, this is it, I'm about to be rich in a year?
Yeah, 100%. Because back then, I was thinking, obviously 10k, 10k account, I can easily make £1,000 a week. That was my mindset.
Yeah.
I was thinking I can easily make £1,000 a week now. Obviously, you get humbled very, very quickly. But I remember my first payout was 10%. So I'd made 10%, but with FTMO, it was 70% profit split. So I remember getting that £700 and I was like, oh my gosh.
Life changing. Like, you've just done this with a skill.
Yeah, I've made it. But then, of course, the market humbles you. I think I actually went straight from a 10k to a 100k challenge.
And again, that psychologically would have messed you up a bit because it's like completely different numbers.
Bad. But I completely fucked that up the wall.
Did you?
That was really bad. And that really affected me psychologically, I think, as well.
When you got to your 100k, do you feel like you should have, for anyone listening, if they are going through like prop challenges, for example, would you say you should go from a 10k to 100k straight away, or would you say like 25k, 50k?
Absolutely. So I would highly recommend going from the 10k, using the profit that you make from a profit split 100%. With that, going to 25k, 50k, and then 100k.
And building your way up.
Yeah, 100%. I just did it. It was just greed at that point because I'm like, well, I passed the 10k, I can pass the 100k. So yeah, it was just absolute greed. But what about you? Where did trading start for you?
Trading started for me around COVID time. So I used to do eyelashes, what I've got on right now.
Ooh.
And then COVID hit, and obviously you couldn't have anyone in your house. So I was like, how am I going to make money from home? Because I also had like another job. It was a sales job.
Okay.
But again, you're going into people's houses and stuff. And what I was doing, it was all like to do with cookware.
Okay.
So you have to go and present something to people and hope that they buy the product and then you get commission from it. I just had like little things going on here and there, right? Because I've just always been one of those people that I just know that a 9-to-5 job will never be me. Like I remember doing like boots for a 2-week, you know when you do 2 weeks in school?
Yeah.
And after like 3 days I quit. I was like, I'm not doing this. Like,
I think I did peacocks.
Really? I remember that shop. That's shut down now.
Yeah, I think it has.
Well, yeah. So anyway, I did that and I was like, this is never going to be me. Yeah. Like, I need to do something. And these times as well, like back in school days, I always aspired to be a YouTuber. Like I wanted to do challenges. Way. Yeah. So I actually used to have a channel and I used to do like challenges, like sister challenges.
Yeah.
Just like loads of random stuff. But like, I didn't understand the concept of you have to continue doing something if you want it to build. And you might not be one of those lucky people that it happens overnight with. Obviously now I do YouTube, finally, and I found my purpose with YouTube. But I feel like you have to go through things. So back to trading. COVID times obviously hit. I put on Google, same as you, how to make money, trading come up. I'm thinking trading, like what is this? I see Forex, like stock market Forex, but I actually knew someone that was trading stocks anyway.
Okay.
But I didn't really believe that they was like making money from stocks. I thought it was like a little bit dodgy. So I was like, But anyway, I saw Forex. I was like, let me look at that. I go put on Instagram, like in the search bar, Forex, and I see on a girl that I like knew mutuals of, in her bio was like, join now, like Forex. And I was like, oh, let me DM her. So I DM'd her and she was like, I'm going to put you in contact with this girl that basically runs it all. But not to understand at the time, it was more like an affiliate thing. Okay. So like she was just a brand because she had quite a big following and she was just pulling people in and getting paid for it. So I jumped on a call with this lady and she was like, you need to do this, it's life-changing, like you can literally be rich in a year. Like I've got this car, I've got this, like if you want this stuff you need to start. I've got 18-year-olds making this much money and changing their lives. Like literally sold the dream, right? And to someone that's like new, that is all you want to hear, to be like, this is what I need. So I'm thinking, wow,
sign me up.
Yeah. And I remember I was quite lucky, like I was fortunate. I got money like inheritance and other money as well. So I was actually quite fortunate in the sense of I had money to start with, which a lot of people don't have.
Yeah.
So I remember saying, cool, I'm going to start. And I can't actually remember how much I used to pay, but I was with IMO Academy. God, you know, it was at one point it was MLM, then it was I Am Mastery. Like it's had 100 names. Long story short, it's a pyramid scheme. Just like you bring people into the company, you get paid, you think you're going to make money trading, but actually you're not. But again, it's a great way to come into it because you are now open to the trading world. The good thing about it was that it gave me experience to understand losing money at the start. But it was just a long, I don't know, near enough year where I was only with them for a couple of months, but for like a year, I was just like, what is this? But same with you, I never wanted to give up. I was just thinking, I've been introduced to this for a reason. Like, I believe everything happens for a reason, right? Everything that crosses your path, there's a reason for it. So I was here like watching all these go lives. And if anyone has been with IMO Academy, they'll know what I'm talking about. You have to like watch all of these lives, like loads of different educators. You could have one trading like support and resistance, one trading indicators, and you're trying to put all of these different strategies together, thinking you've found the holy grail. I remember even putting on like a 0.2 lot, and the market went up, and I was like, I did that. I remember thinking, oh my God, I just pushed the market. Like, it was so bad. And I sat there for hours and hours, like going over and over and over this material. And I learned nothing. I actually learned nothing. And they used to be able to like say, they couldn't say I'm getting in a trade now, but they'd be like, when, I don't know, like New York opens, I'll be entering this trade. But they can't tell you because obviously it's like a signal. So they couldn't do that. I think that was like banned. So anyway, the girl said, just download MT4, download Hugo's Way, or like deposit money into Hugo's Way. I literally can't even remember, but it was like put money into Hugo's Way. And I remember like trying to deposit money into Hugo's Way, and it was like from one wallet to another wallet to another website. I was thinking, what the heck? Yeah. I was thinking, and it's taking ages. It took like 2 days to come into the account. And I was thinking, no, like, what is this? It's taking forever. Anyway, I got beginner's luck. I put in £300 and I made it to like £500-600.
Wow.
But I instantly lost it. And then I had this, which obviously now into psychology, I understand like the revenge trading, the FOMO, I understand all of this type of stuff. But at that time, I didn't understand that. I was greedy and I was trying to chase money because I was at home bored in COVID. Just wanted to make money quick. And actually, I'm losing money and putting more money in. And the market's just eating up my money. And I thought, this can't be it. Like, surely the market's not out to get me, as we do, you know? We think the market's out to get us, or we think everyone's against us in the world. And then I thought, maybe it's not me. Maybe it's the company. Like, they're not actually teaching me. Because if you go to college or university or something, you're going to learn a piece of material. But here I'm trying to learn 500 strategies, put it together and make it one. And it doesn't make sense. So I remember putting on YouTube, is IMO Academy a scam? And this guy in a do-rag popped up, Swaggy C, and he done like a whole breakdown of like MLMs, basically, like marketing schemes and pyramid schemes and all that stuff. And I remember watching him thinking, everything he's saying is everything I'm going through. So let me go on his channel and see what he's like talking about. And there was just so much free material. And I thought, I've been sitting here paying like £300 a month or something, £250, whatever it was. And there's stuff for free online. And then I just kept watching these videos over and over and over again. He mentioned, and everyone else mentions, like Baby Pips. So I remember watching going on Baby Pips, and like learning everything. And I learned things I didn't need to know, like New Zealand dollar and stuff. Like, but as you do, you just fill your mind with everything that you think you need to know. And for anyone at home, Baby Pips is basically a free website where you can just learn about Forex. So you can use that as a gem, but you don't need to learn everything, you know. I'd say first understand what you want to trade. So if it's GBP USD, look into the pound and the US dollar, because otherwise you're just going to learn things you don't need to know. So that's a gem from me, because I had done that mistake. So because I was learning so much, I feel like my brain was just content overload, basically. I was just doing the most and it weren't beneficial to me or my journey. And then I saw Swaggy had a course and I thought, okay, I'm just going to get the course. Like, I'd rather invest my money into this where I'm learning one piece of material and hope for the best. So I invested into his course. I remember doing it in my room. I was like, I don't want to spend this money, but I'm going to. He had a sale on, and I can't remember what it was down from, but it was like $299. And he always done a sale like on his birthday. So I was like waiting for that day to come. So I remember doing it and was like, I'm just going to do it. So I bought the course and I wrote the date down in my like diary and stuff. And I was like, in a year from now, I'm going to make money trading.
Yeah.
Like, and I just thought, I'm not going to have that mindset of I'm going to be rich, I'm going to have a Lamborghini. Obviously, I thought it at the start, but I was like, it's not realistic. It's not happened. 6-7 months in, it's not happened. So got the course, went through the course. But again, like you, weren't taking it serious. I was like watching the course a couple days off, like just in and out basically. And I had like life and a child. So I weren't fully focused on it.
Yeah.
Whereas some people, if they don't have a child or don't have other things going on, they could sit there and like be way more focused on it. So I then started to deposit money into IG and Oanda at the time because he suggested it. So I was like, I'm going to listen to him. They're regulated as well. They're not offshore brokers. So there's more of a positivity chance that I will get my money back if I put money in. So I went all out. I put £3,000 in. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I made money. I lost it. And I said, oh God, not this again. Like it was like haunting me. And then I put in like £700, like small. I was like, maybe I'm too big for my boots. And then I started trying to understand like the lot sizes and stuff. But I remember that in his course, the way he was teaching it is not how I would do it now, because I think it was a bit more confusing than what I was trying to learn.
Yeah.
So after figuring that out, I was like small lot sizes and then just started flipping it basically. And I started doing really well. I think I had my first, it was like a year and a half later. I got to £3,000, took 2,000 out. Yeah. Got really excited and left 1,000 in. And then that's what I kept doing, like up to 3,000, take 2,000 out. And I was flipping essentially, which I wouldn't recommend now. But
yeah,
my personal now is for growing and investing long term. And then, yeah, so I stuck with him. I also got like a couple of like Zoom, like one day sit-ins with a couple of people online. I actually got one from the £1 to £1 million guy. And I watched this thing and thought, he knows what he's talking about, but if you know, you know. If you know, you know. But I like went through all of that, like that stuff of like just getting as many as I could, thinking that it would help me.
Yeah.
But it didn't. But realistically, I still trade the way that I learned from the Swag Academy course. It's just that I've made it more of my own bread and butter now. Instead of like what I've learned, I've just made it more for myself. But the Fibonacci levels are all the same, support and resistance the same, apart from I call it key areas. Trend lines the same, and I've just found my own pairs. He was trading GBP AUD, so I was obviously, and GU at the time, and then USD JPY, which obviously I'm in and out of now. So yeah, that was it. And then started to jump on Twitter, and then I met you, and then we worked for a company together. And you was like prop, prop. Everyone was like prop firms. And I was like, I'm scared. Like, I just didn't understand the concept of it. And then the guy was like, I'll give you 100K, like, just try it. And I was like, I'm scared. I was like, no. I was like, give me 10K. Yeah. And I passed first time. And I was like, what? I'm so proud of myself. Passed first time, but I got a bit too cocky and then blew the account. So, but yeah, that was my journey basically. And now I'm here trading with props, and I have my own personal, but I use it as more of an investment. I do take money out here and there, but more of like a reward to myself, like end of the year or birthday or something like that.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting hearing people's stories about how they get into trading, because nowadays it's so easy, I feel like, to get into trading. Like, there is so much information out there. We now have 20 million different prop firms and funding firms, which obviously that probably is the biggest hurdle, I think, finding a prop firm that is legit and pays. But what would you do, like, if you could start your journey now from the complete beginning? Let's say next week you're about to start learning how to trade. How would you go about it now?
Because of the journey I went on, I would always say YouTube. Like, YouTube what you can if you don't have the money to spend on a course. Find an educator that you like and make sure that the strategy looks simple, because sometimes less is more. So if you have like 5 things on your chart, 20 million indicators, it's not going to make you rich. It's not going to make you money. Like, the more you have, the more confusing it will be, and it looks tacky. So find someone that you like the look of, like what's aesthetically pleasing to you. So that's the first thing. Do you like that person's personality? Because if you don't, but you like the way they trade, you're going to get bored of listening to them, and you will just tap out and end up going on your phone through watching them. Also, I would say, make sure you have the time. Like, how much time do you have to invest into something? Because there's no point investing into a course and saying, I've only got 2 hours once a month to start trading. Because if so, you're not going to be a great trader, and you're not probably ever going to make money, because it's going to take a long time to trade. So after finding your educator and making sure they also are into psychology as well, because that's 80% of your trading, follow me on YouTube, because, you know, I've got all the psychology tips there. But yeah, find a psychology coach if you can, or just someone that talks about the mind as well as the charts, and the fundamental side of things. And if you have the money, invest into their course. Again, Baby Pips is free, so you could look at that, but don't overload yourself with things you don't need to know. And find either a regulated broker and start small and try and like build up. And always get a prop firm challenge, because for a regulated broker, it's normally like $250 to put in minimum deposit, whereas you could get a 10k account for £60 to £100 in the space we're in now.
Yeah.
But what about you?
I agree. I think I would do pretty much the same. I would always say to anyone who is looking to get into trading now, I always say find the free information, because there is so much out there on YouTube that is really, really useful. There are a lot of free courses on YouTube, so that's where you always want to start. And then I would say you want to find a community based on the same strategy of what you've been learning on YouTube.
Rise Collective.
There we go. The number one community in the trading space. But yeah, you want to find a community that is based around that same strategy that you've been learning, ideally with the same people that you've been listening to.
Of course.
Don't strategy hop. Like, that is the worst thing that you can do. And then from there, I would say you need to keep working on your craft, keep practicing. And then I would always say start with, I would say, we now have like 2.5k and 5k accounts, but I would always say just start with a 10k account.
Same.
Like, there's no point starting that small. But I think, so obviously I work with Equity Edge. I do their content and their podcast. I think at the moment our 10k challenge is probably like $30 to $40.
That's insane.
Like, how crazy. You can get $10,000 of capital for $30 to $40 investment. Like, back in the day, you would have had to have the $10,000 there to trade with, but now you can just pay a small fee, prove yourself as a trader, and get that to trade with. And once you've had your first payout, you're then completely risk-free. And then I would always say from there, work your way up slowly, like we mentioned. But while we're talking about Equity Edge, obviously I work for them. We do have a discount code that you guys can use at home. So that will be in the description below. And that will give you 10% off any Equity Edge challenge.
And you've even had payouts yourself?
Yeah, I've had numerous payouts from them. I'm currently doing a one-step challenge with them because I did lose my 100k just before Christmas, I think. But now I'm doing a one-step challenge, which I've never done before, which is trailing drawdown, which, again, I've never experienced a trailing drawdown. So, yeah, I'm doing another one-step challenge to get my funding back with them. But, yeah, trading now is just so easy to get into compared to what we had to go through back in the day. And I think even information-wise, back in the day, there was only like 3 or 4 people that were doing it. Obviously, you had Baby Pips, but then it was like Astro FX, where I started. Q, Swaggy, Ryan Gilpin, My Life Real Quick.
Barely anyone. Like,
that was it.
And that everyone's jumping on this content thing. Everyone's on Twitter. Everyone's on Instagram.
Yeah.
But again, like, if you are new into the space, like, you need to be mindful of the people you're looking at online, because a lot of these people are just, as we call them, trading gurus. They just want to show you lifestyle and sell you their course that they've regurgitated from Baby Pips.
Literally.
And if people are telling you that you can make $1 million in a year, like, you need to be mindful. Yes, you could get trader's luck, because I did in my first trade, but I didn't make money from trading for about 1.5 years. So you have to be mindful of the people you're following, because people ain't real. If people are telling you they take losses, they're showing their losses, they're telling you that they're in drawdown, they're telling you they've blown an account, they're the people you want to be watching, because they're the people that's going to benefit you on your journey. If people are just pretending that they're consistently profitable all the time, they're making 70k payouts all the time, a lot of things can actually be played with, can't it? Like MT4, MT5 can actually be edited.
Manipulated, yeah.
Broker accounts and stuff, they can all be edited as well. So you just have to be mindful that a lot of people online are working with companies to actually, like, just take your money and not actually make you successful.
Facts.
I think that's one thing that's massively changed now, is that there's a lot of scamming behind it.
Yeah.
Like, you have the marketing companies that are like, come into here, we'll pay you if you bring people in, which is the pyramid scheme. But then you also have now a lot of scammers that have realised that there's a lot of money to be made in, like, horses and stuff. and half of them don't trade.
Yeah, facts. I think there's always been the scammers, but nowadays they are everywhere. And especially the ones that, like you said, like the lifestyle gurus who will post their Bugatti and their mansion and then use that as like marketing for their courses and stuff like that. That is where you want to stay away from. Like, that is the worst, because anyone who has been through the trenches of trading knows how hard it is and understands that showcasing these lavish things and using those to like promote courses or signals, even worse, signals, you're just selling people a dream, and it is really bad.
That's actually another topic that let's dip into, signals. So a lot of people class themselves as traders. They're buying someone's signals. You're not a trader. If you're buying signals from someone, you can never class yourself as I'm a trader, because you are not learning the skill and you are not executing a trade by yourself in your own skill. You're taking someone else's trade as their idea, you're placing it, and you're hoping that they are going to have positive results from it. And then if they don't, you're going to be like, oh, this is a scam, or like they're a scam or whatever. And I think signals are dangerous because, as you and me know, one day we could think the market's beautiful and we can see that the market's setting us up for sales. We get in and actually it's buys. So someone that's new into trading, would you suggest them to get into signals?
Absolutely not. I think signals are the worst thing this industry could ever do. I hate them with every inch of my soul, because number one, the people providing the signals probably don't know how to trade themselves. So they're giving you signals that are probably just made up, let's be real. And then you, as the trader, are going to place that trade. You're not going to know how to manage the trade. You'll set your stop loss and TP, but you're not going to understand the emotions that come with managing that trade. So I think if you want to trade, just learn how to trade. If you're going to take signals from someone, I'm sorry, but you're just being lazy. And money doesn't come easily. I think this is something people need to understand. Money does not come easily. And if it does, as easy as it comes, as easy as it goes. So you really have to put in the work and just learn how to trade for yourself. Signals, I just hate them with every inch of my soul.
Yeah, same. And again, like, I feel like a lot of people don't understand the concept of learning a skill. A lot of people give up trading in such a short amount of time because they've lost money, they've blown an account, or they've taken someone's signal, now they hate everyone in the world. But people go to college and they are in college for 3-4 years, and then they go to university for another 4 or 5 years, and they've been trying to study to get a skill qualification for 8 years, like to be like a nurse or something. I'm sure it's like 5 to 8 years or something. So why don't you give yourself that much time in trading? Like, me 5 years in is the best I've ever been in terms of like my mindset. I know how to, like, obviously, yes, I still take losses. I've still been in drawdown. Like, there's things that you still go through, but it's about learning how to deal with it. Whereas I think a lot of people, they glorify trading and it's just not the reality of it. So I think if you're trying to learn, you need to understand that you have to come into this with an open mindset of, you might be a quick learner and you might learn in 3 months, but it could also take you 3 years. So you have to be understanding that if this is something you really want to do, you have to stick it out.
Thank you guys for watching our very first episode. If you would like to learn how to trade, then make sure you click the link in the description for our free Discord, or you can join our WAP community where you will get access to a integrated trading course and also a psychology course, as well as weekly calls for both. Again, thank you so much for watching, guys. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and also let us know what guests you would like to see on the podcast.